out there. I'm back. That's right. It's Jessica Koch. I am your host, and this is Profound Professionals. It is the interview series that has been embracing and hugging you from across the globe with industry experts that can help improve your personal life or help you grow your business. Today, we have amazing, beautiful, brilliant guests. We have Linda Binns. She is a breakthrough energy expert. She's helping professional women master energy. We need lots of energy. We're all energy, so they can regain clarity. Clarity is good. You need confidence, and you can thrive when you master your energy, and you need to do it in a way that's just right for you. And Linda is the person to help you do that. And we have Dena. She is a holistic mind-body coach, and I love this. She specializes in NeuroEmotional Release. Release sounds very calming, but it sounds like it's also a process and a journey that you need to take with an expert. And Dena's just that expert for you. So I am going to start with our beautiful Dena. She is the top of the show here on my screen. And I would love for you to tell us a bit about your journey and how you got into NeuroEmotional Release. How did this become?
I know, that's a big word, isn't it?
Become part of your world. It's fun to say a little NeuroEmotional Release.
Yes.
It's a little relieving just to say it. I felt when I said it first.
It does feel good. The word release in and of itself is a great word. So thank you for having me, Jessica. It's great to see you, Linda. I'm excited to share a little bit more about what's possible through working together and, hopefully inspiring your audience. So I think, my story began way back when I thought I was going to be a physician. And I ended up spending some time in pharmaceutical sales. I had a wonderful experience in my early 20s doing that, which led me to become a physician assistant, which I did that. I got my master's and I practiced gastroenterology for several years. I then had 3 children, all under the age of 5. And I decided, you know what, it's probably a good idea to be at home with them a little bit more, which is what I did, thankfully, to my ex-husband, my husband at the time, who's now my ex-husband. Nonetheless, when I was at home, medicine at the time, and I'll slow my chatter down for a minute, healthcare 20 years ago was at the beginning stages of not being a good thing. And now we're landing 20 years later where it's really a broken industry. It's a broken, thing in this country. And I didn't want to go back. And I ended up pivoting and I went into business and sales and I built a few businesses, took on the idea of coaching for myself personally. I didn't know what a life coach was. I hired a life coach for myself in 2010. And I was like, because I had been in years of therapy and I was curious. And lo and behold, a year and a half later, I was definitely a different individual. So I said, I would like to do that. I'm going to do that for my sales team. And that's kind of what I did. And 15, years later, here I am, and I have a coaching practice and I've done some amazing things with hundreds of clients, but I was mostly working with the mind. I'm a bio, science person by nature and study, biology, neuroscience. And I do believe in the power of rewiring the brain and the neural pathways. So for 12 years, 13 years, I was primarily coaching that way. What I was neglecting was my own body. I wasn't working out like I wanted to. I wasn't feeling my best. I'm hitting 50 in my early 50s. And I'm noticing things are starting to change. And so I went on a quest to serve myself. Isn't that always how it is? We discover something and then we want to be gifting it to the world. And so in the journey, I came across somatic release, NeuroEmotional Release, and somatic healing, and how the mind and body is actually connected. And so I've been studying that for some time, and now I'm offering that, which has been life-changing for my clients, like really mind-blowing for my clients.
And what kind of clients come to you? So you're working with companies or executives or individuals?
No, I'm working mostly with entrepreneurs or women who want, mostly women. I do have some men, but mostly women, anywhere from the ages of 25 to 60. Essentially that are they're in a transition of some sort. So it might be a transition out of a marriage. It might be a transition, it's crossroads, because my specialty is cognitive dissonance. So my specialty is to pattern interrupt. And so they need an interrupt. They're on sort of a crossroads, and whether they want to start a business, raise their business to another level, go through college, come out of college, that transition. So that's what's happening. Maybe all their children have been launched and now they don't know who they are. They're going, and what I find is many women are numb, and so they don't even know who they are. So
are you doing this with an online course or group sessions, or all virtual? Is it all one-on-one?
It's right now all one-on-one. I have done masterminds and I've done retreats and workshops, but right now it's all one-on-one.
Okay. All right. That's good. Good stuff. You'll be happy to know that I'm at my standing desk, and I also have a walking pad, and I walk all the time. And I also often go to virtual networking events and other events where there's other people, and I still walk if it's appropriate. I'm on the podcast. I'm not walking now, but I'm standing. And people ask, hey, why are you walking? Where are you going? And I always say, I'm going somewhere, and I'm walking because I love me, and I think that that's what it comes down to. We need to do things like that love on ourselves. But we have just waited way too long to hear all of the breakthrough energy expertise of Linda. Welcome, Linda. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm delighted to be here. And I love the fact that you walk. It's like that movement of energy, keeping the energy moving, so I've been doing this work in one form or another for about 27 years. I grew up knowing I was very different from everyone around me, and that was often pointed out to me, how everything about me was wrong. You're too sensitive, you think too much, why can't you be more like this person, why can't you be more like everybody else? And so I really sort of shut myself down. And my only goal, I would say, growing up was to fit in, to be like everybody else, which didn't happen because I wasn't like everybody else. And I didn't really understand that. But as I left home, once I left home and I started really sort of going out there on my own, I started to study natural health and healing just for my own interest, really. Well, actually, it started because of my dog. My dog had a health problem, so it started because of that. And I was so fascinated by what I was learning. I was studying homeopathy, herbal remedies, nutrition, that kind of thing. And I thought this was so fascinating. I wanted to study it more. So I took a diploma and then a bachelor's degree in that. And what I learned, I was so passionate about, I thought I have to share this with people. And so I was going to start my business doing that. And just about the time I was about to start my business, I started hearing about this thing called feng shui. And I started reading all about that. And it's all about the energy of your environment and how that reflects what's going on for you, and how you can make changes in your life by changing the energy in your environment. So again, I knew that was something I had to do. So I started to become a feng shui practitioner. And so when I started my business, it was as a holistic nutritionist and a feng shui practitioner. And so, the way I see it now is it's all about energy of the body, energy of the environment, all paying attention to energy. And over the years, that has evolved into not so much individual consultations, because my consultations always went so much deeper than just the physical symptom. It was always about, what was really going on with the person, and also how that was showing up for them in their environment. And just the changes that people could bring about in their lives, where seemingly impossible situations that they'd struggled with for a long time could just change very quickly when you get the energy right, when you understand energetically what's going on. And when I say energy, it's like their own personal energy. So it could be beliefs, conditioning, the thoughts they think, the actions they take, what drives them, but also the energy of their environment, of course, and then the energy of the people around them and the situations they're in, and all of it. How does it affect you? How do you feel about it? And what is it telling you about yourself? So self-awareness is a huge part of what I do, because unless you truly know what's happening with your energy, you don't know what to change, because people are putting their energy so much into what doesn't serve them, and giving their power away very often. So we want to stop that.
That's for sure. And so who is coming to you most often? Is it primarily women? Is it executives? Is it entrepreneurs like Dena? What's drawn to you as you're working with clients?
Well, it tends to be professional women and women business owners, because they have to be willing to look at their energy and emotions, right? And I do work with some men, but most men don't want to go there with emotions. It tends to be more women. But in particular, the reason I found out about why I was so different from everybody around me growing up is I discovered that I'm a highly sensitive person and more of an empathic person. So those tend to be the people who come to me, because they are impacted so much more deeply by energy. And if anyone wants to gain an insight into how they're spending their energy, I do actually, there's a free personal energy assessment that people can take, and it just gives them a clear picture of what's going on for them in their life, in each area of their life, and where they might need to make some changes.
And I'm sure Linda will make sure our team has that. So you'll see it in the custom article about her, as well as some of the descriptions and all the different places you find or may be watching this video right now. So what about your website? Give us your website as well, Linda.
It is quite simply lindabins.com.
That's
yeah, you just see everything that I do on there.
And are you working with them one-on-one only? Is it workshops? Do you do group sessions? Are you doing online courses? How are you serving?
I serve people in the way that works best for them. So I do all of those things. Initially, before I work with somebody, I have a conversation with them to see what's the best fit for them. Some people don't like a group program. Some people really benefit from a group program. Some people like the self-paced online study. And some people, I have a program where I incorporate all of those aspects.
The hybrid.
So it really
I love the hybrids. Yes. I love that you have all of that. That's lovely. Now, be thinking on your tip that you're going to give to help improve someone's personal life today, because we're going to chase Dena for that. But before we get your tip, Dena, I realized we didn't get, if you have, do you want to share your website or an upcoming thing that's happening, or
my website is very simple. It's Dena B Coaching. So DENAB coaching.com.
Right.
And, you can also sign up for a free discovery call. I do, as Linda was discussing it, I do a 30-minute free session where, I assess what you might need. I also, on my website, you can sign up for text inspiration as well.
Oh, that's
so we have that available. Yeah. There was something else I think you were going to ask. Oh, I'll let you go ahead. Sorry.
That's okay. Well, you have the text inspirations. Is that a free program? I was going to ask if you had a free gift, but I didn't want to put you on the spot if you didn't.
Well, the free gift, I do have a free gift. So, and if any of the audience is coming from this podcast, you will get your first session for free. So essentially you're getting 13 sessions instead of 12 sessions.
Oh, cool.
In the work that we would be doing, and you would get an extra session for free. Just need to mention that you came from Jessica Koch's beautiful podcast.
We'll have to make sure that we have that in the details so that I can make sure the team includes that everywhere as we go, because we don't want anyone missing that deal. That sounds awesome. So now you owe us a tip. Give us a tip that will improve someone's personal life today.
All right. Here's my tip. Everyone, words we use can change our energy. And so I'm going to have you think to yourself, when do you use these two words? You ready? The tip is, when do you use I'm fine And when do you use it's just? Those two words or two phrases, I want you to catch yourself. It's just, I'm fine. That kind of energy really changes the game. You could be so excited about a relationship, so excited about your bank account, so excited about a new business venture. And as soon as you start to use those two words, just and fine, they minimize, they reduce the energy, they change the outcome and the vibration that you're living in. So those two words, get rid of them.
Well, I'll tell you what, years and years and years ago now, gosh, I think close to 10 years, I have probably as close to erased this word from my vocabulary as is possible to claim. You know, it's popped in from time to time only because I have to say it out loud, because someone's like, well, I don't know what that word is you're mentioning. It's the O word. It's the bad O word. There's, you know, in life, there's a really good O word. We won't say that one out loud either. And then there's that feeling of, oh, there's so much on my head, and you're feeling overwhelmed. Yes, exactly. She said it. I didn't. You heard that, people. And and I just decided one day, I was sitting, literally, I remember sitting in my car, and I was about to go in to work with a client that I loved, but there was also about a bazillion other things. I'm the mother of 7. We have 8 grandchildren. We have multiple businesses. There's you know, many things. I started to do this meditation and say, I decided I don't want this word in my life anymore, and I'm going to get rid of it. And so I closed my eyes, and I imagined that I had this huge, beautiful cup, because that's the first thing I thought of. And it was, all of these things were blessings, and everything. I decided everything that was making me feel the O word was a blessing. So I threw it all in the cup. Then I expanded it to this beautiful depression glass punch bowl that my grandmother had given to me. And then I expanded it to a swimming pool, and then I expanded it to the oceans, and then I expanded it to those beautiful swirling purple and pink and fuchsia stars and galaxies and worlds. And I said, all the resources and everything I need to do all of and enjoy all the value of all these blessings are here and ready for me right now. And so I just do this meditation whenever that word creeps my way in a feeling in my stomach, and it just washes off. So words are definitely very, very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's great, Jessica, that's huge.
Yeah, it really helped me. It really, really helped me, and it has helped me in the past, and I don't have to use it very often anymore. So I just imagine everything is expanding all the time.
It's so fascinating, because it's not even something that, like, when I'm sitting with my clients, they don't even hear what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key for this, is I can count, I can sense when we're heading into a spiral, into an egocentric spiral from the past, if they are using those words. I can see the energy, and I will replay, I'll mirror back and replay to them what they're saying.
Well, there's a joke in our household too, because we're sort of self-help junkies. We listen to every tape and audio and everything else there is under the sun. And so my husband and I, if we happen to have a moment where we're feeling, where we would say it's just, or I'm fine, in our world, we say, I feel terrific. And we over exaggerate it. And we walk around the house saying, I feel terrific, even though there's a twinge sometimes of sarcasm. It's still, we end up feeling better than if we had said something else. And it makes us both laugh at each other, and we laugh at ourselves and don't take ourselves so seriously.
It's the science.
Better.
It's the science of it all. You can change your energy by smiling and giggling and laughing.
I forget whose book that was. I'm sure lots of people have done it, but there was a specific person we were listening to, and that was his cure for things. Just decide you feel terrific, and you are. So we love that. So Linda, we need a tip from you. You're up now. Batter up. We need. We're not going to get all the good tips just from Dena, because we know you've got some hiding in your pockets.
Okay. Well, this tip kind of goes along with what Dena has just shared, and it's to pay attention, to become aware of where, when, and how you give your power away. Because I think you find it's a lot more often than we think. And that's just exactly what you described, Jessica, when you thought about, you think of something and then you think of expansion, because and you're reclaiming that power, because the word just, it's you giving your power away, right? When you're saying I'm fine and I'm not really fine, what is fine anyway? That's a way of giving your power away. If you compare yourself to someone, you're giving your power away. If you take something personally when somebody says something to you and it makes you feel angry or sad or anything that doesn't feel good, you've given your power away to that person. So that there can be so many ways that we give our power away. And just like you described, Jessica, it's about becoming aware of that. And then once you become aware of when, where, and how you do that, then changing it, just like you did. I mean, you can think, oh, I'm just so terrible at this. And then the minute you notice that's giving my power away, by saying that, you can say, I'm learning to become better at this. I'm really proud of myself for learning how to do this. So it's that reframe that you can do. And that is so empowering. It takes your power, your energy back. Instead of, it really is amazing how often we give our power away and we don't even realize it. Do it all the time. Even if we don't say it out loud, it's in our minds, we're doing it.
I love that you said, I'm really terrible at doing this, but I'm getting better at it. I'm getting better at it. I don't say that. I say, because we have a virtual.
I'm fantastic.
We have a virtual assistant membership program. So I say, oh, there's someone out there that's very fantastic.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to hire them.
I like that even
I'm
better.
going to outsource this thing, because if it drains me, then it isn't for me, but it's a gift for someone else. Why would I keep a present why would I keep a beautiful sweater if it's 17 sizes too small for me, right? And when it would be beautiful and handcrafted and lovely on someone else. And I am keeping that gift for myself wrongly. It belongs to them. So let me just go find them, give them the sweater, and stop trying to squeeze myself in something that isn't a gift for me. That's
another way we do give our power away, by surrounding ourselves or having things in our environment that no longer serve us. So even something that maybe you love and it used to fit you and you used to wear it all the time, but you don't anymore, but you're holding on to it because you can't bear to let it go, or for whatever reason you might lose weight and get into it again. I
wasn't actually talking about a real sweater. I'm not getting rid of my sweaters. I'm not giving up on me yet, but I was talking about like a skill or a gift or a talent or whatever. But I used the sweater as an example. Okay, I have a little bit of an issue with things. I'm still letting go. I'm getting better every day. I'm not all the way there yet. My husband and I use the word yet a lot. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm getting there.
That's the most important thing, progress.
That's exactly right. All right. So you're watching out there and you're ready, because you've been with me for 8 years. These people, they're newbies. We're going to have to get them ready. So get your fingers warmed up, get ready, and start typing those nonprofits, causes, and charities that just make your heart feel warm. If you're giving time, treasure, or talent to something, or you've started your own foundation, or you have something wonderful out there, put it in the comments, put it in the chat. And guess what? If you're kind enough to share it, someone else might be too. And we, as a little group here, may inspire someone to do something good today. They might give time, treasure, or talent to the causes that you put in the chat, the ones our beautiful guests share with us today, or they just might be reminded of one that touches their own heart and go back and go, I haven't done that in a while, and go give and do something good. And we inspired that. Yes. How much better can that get? So Dena, what's a cause that is close to your heart?
So there's a nonprofit here in town called Safe Berks, and it's serves women and children who happen to be caught up in domestic violence. And some men, but mostly women and children. And the reason that it's near and dear to my heart, the concept of domestic violence, is that violence, the word violence, has a lot of connotations. It doesn't necessarily need to be physical. Verbal and mental and emotional abuse is extremely rampant these days. And And so I'm supporting this cause. It's a beautiful cause. It's actually how I support many of my clients to not verbally violate themselves, not mentally and emotionally abuse themselves. And so this was a beautiful offshoot. And in fact, I'm proposing that I work with the women in the house, in the safe house, to help them reduce their stress with some simple tapping and some simple meridian release and some simple NeuroEmotional Release.
Yeah, having tools and coping mechanisms is a wonderful way to find not just recovery, but a life where you can thrive. And everyone deserves a safe space. So homes like that, and whether it's a homeless shelter or a shelter for women and children, or even, as she mentioned, for men, if there's something in your community, get involved, check it out. Maybe you can just, if you're comfortable, just donate from a distance. Maybe they have a list of things they always need. I know our local homeless shelter always needs combs and socks and toilet paper. You can pick up an extra as you're shopping, and maybe you're one of those who goes to the big box stores and gets enough for 5 families. You could throw a little bit their direction as you saved all that money buying in such large volume. But everybody deserves a safe place, and our safest place should be with ourselves. And that's why Dena is so special and magical. She helps people be their own safest space. So everyone deserves safety. That's a lovely and a beautiful thing. Linda, you have a cause that's close to your heart?
I do. I truly have a great affinity with animals. I always have. And it's something I find that many highly sensitive people do. And this particular one, I was thinking about, it's called Colby's Crew, Colby, Colby's Crew. And they rescue horses. Now, I'm not a horse person. I've never had horses or anything like that, but I just love what they're doing. I learned something. And that what happens is people have horses, could be carriage horses. It could be the Amish, they use horses for their carriages, those kinds of things, trail horses, horses that work. And then when the horse gets sick or old and can't really work as well anymore, they will often ship them off to a kill facility. And what they do is they sell them for very, very minimal amount of money, and then they get shipped off for slaughter. And there are hundreds and hundreds of these horses, terrified. Absolutely. If you see that, it really touches your heart. But they started by rescuing one horse called Colby, and it was a young horse, and it was deemed to be too aggressive, too violent for anybody to approach. And the woman who runs Colby's Crew, tiny little lady, she saw something in this horse. She rescued the horse, took it, and she's trained it, and they are just so very close. And out of that came this desire to be able to help so many more horses. And so they will go and they will fundraise. They will go to the kill shelter and they will actively fundraise so that they completely empty it. They take every single horse, if they've got the money to do that. They get every horse the medical attention that it needs, whatever that is. They fundraise for that. I'm just astounded at how much they're doing, and it's really, really impressive.
Well, and
beautiful.
One of my children went through trauma outside of our direct family circle, and needed some counseling. And one of the best counseling processes and therapy that we found was that incorporated animals, and horses were part of that therapeutic process. So there's definitely something for these older horses to do. There's work out there to be done. Work that they can handle and love that they can give. So I think every living thing has energy, you know, and every bit of the planet, you know, down to the rocks and the dirt, you know, it's all a form of energy, and it all should be honored and cherished. And, you know, now my husband does wag his finger at me when I say that, because he said there wasn't so much warmth and love for that ant that went by, or that spider, but you know, there's a few things, but for the majority,
yeah, haven't quite embraced the full Buddhist practice of no harm to any.
Hiking, you know, with the animals, the fleas, like what is the point of that, really? And you know, and you have to spray yourself to death from mosquitoes and ticks. I'm really unsure about those as well, but all in all, I'd like to see all living things are good.
Do our best.
We do our best. Perfect. Yes, I'm getting there.
Yes. That was another little tip. If I'm gonna drop another one, there's no such thing as 100% anything.
Right.
So you're striving for perfection. There isn't such a thing. There's not 100% anything.
That's
so
right. I'm going to.
You're always going to have
way. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Me and Yet are going to hang out for a very long time.
That's true.
All right. You know the next drill. This is your favorite part as much as it is mine. If you're an author of a book, or you have a book that has inspired your personal life or helps you grow your business, and you want to share it with the world and shout it from the mountaintops, stick it in the comments, hit that share button, and let's see how many of these books we can get out there and inspire someone else and help someone else's life. Dena, a book not written by you that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business.
So one of my favorite fundamental foundational books was Gifts of Imperfection by Brené Brown. You know, again, not unlike Linda's story, I was an outlier. I was a black sheep. There was always something wrong with me. But the beauty of that book reminds us that these things are all gifts. Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful book, and it's a very quick read, actually. So I love that book. I hope someone out there who's listening gets that book. Mm-hmm. And so to answer that as well, it's not only a personal life change, but once you free yourself energetically, as Linda would also probably concur, you can do anything and anything you're choosing to do. Your business, your family, your mothering, your fitness, your nutrition. You can choose all of those things. So start within, start with yourself.
You know, and I will say that as you let go of things and choose joy, one of the things I've done for many, many years now is just I choose joy, and I choose love in all circumstances. And it is sometimes a real choice. But what I've found is it's opened me, and I always say all my windows and doors are open for opportunities, love, joy, and as many resources as can flow in. Yeah. And when a few months ago, I had a dream, and I dreamt in a movie format, an entire fiction novel series, and I've begun to write it. And I think when you do those kinds of things, you allow the energy of the universe to come in and play with you in the sandbox that just expands your joy. So I say choose joy, and the things that make you unique and everyone cast you out of the circle because of them are your most shining, brilliant stars. They are what makes you the most special. So I love that you shared that book. Thank you for that, Dena. So, all right, Linda, you're up. A book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm going to share two. I'll do it quickly. But these are the ones that sort of have meant the most to me and that I still refer to again and again and again. The first is The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I love this book because he talks about the ways we sabotage ourselves and that we all have a set point that says this is how happy or successful or wealthy you can be. And when we bump up against that set point, that's when we start to create sabotage. So that's why I love that book. And then the other one is The Highly Sensitive Person by Dr. Elaine Aron. And this was the book I read, and so many people have read that, whether you say, oh my gosh, that finally makes sense of who I am. and why everything has happened to me as it's happened to me, and why I focus on energy and why that's so important to me. So those are my 2 books.
That is beautiful. And I'm in a book club, and I just suggested everyone look at another book, but I think I'm going to put The Big Leap on the list. Big Leap. I'm writing that down in real time. You see that? This is live. We're doing things. Take action now. My memory is not as young as I look yet. So there's always hope for memory to improve, I'm sure. There's techniques. Dena might know a few. All right. So now we're going to talk about books that you have written. So Dena, I know you've been in a couple of collaborative, amazing people kind of books. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be included in 2 women's anthologies, very inspirational. One is Lead, Amazing Woman Lead, and one is Rise, Amazing Woman Rise. They were both put together by Marsh Engel, Engle, and you can find both of those books, Rise, Amazing Woman Rise, or Lead, Amazing Woman Lead, on Amazon.
And they are a series of inspirational books with women.
They're chapters, the particular topics. My 2 topics were the power of your voice and reconnection. Mm-hmm. So each woman had a particular topic.
Now, there's holidays throughout the year, no matter when you're watching this. So it sounds like a great Mother's Day gift for, if you have a sister or a mother or an aunt or someone you'd love to give a gift to. But the holidays are creeping up upon us. So those sound like lovely gifts to give the women, the young women, or any age woman probably, and that in your life. So thank you for sharing that. All right. Now we all have to make sure we're comfortable, because Linda has written a small library and we need to hear about all of her beautiful books. So Linda, the renowned author here in our presence, give us some information about these beautiful books that are a halo upon your head there.
Well, that's only half of them, actually. I've written 8, but I won't tell you about all of them. You can go on my website. There's a tab called Books, and you can read all about them. I'll really focus on the last one because that was the one that was sort of dearest to my heart, I suppose. And it's called Value Me, The Benefits of Being a Highly Sensitive Professional. Because so many of the women that I work with had a similar experience growing up to me. And so they have a very strong core belief that they're not good enough. And because they don't value themselves, that's the experience they often get in the workplace, or if they're in business, then there are certain struggles that go along with that. So the book is all about just the value you have. I mean, we have abilities and qualities that 80% of the population doesn't have. A greater intuitive ability. We hear things, we smell things, we notice subtleties that other people don't. And if we're brought up to believe that those are problems and those are things to be fixed, then this is about helping you to recognize those are strengths and how can you utilize them as strength and learn to value yourself so that everybody around you values you. So that's the latest one that I wrote, and one that's dearest to my heart.
So I hope that you mentioned somewhere in this book that is actually a superpower, and how it goes with superpowers, that with great responsibilities, or great gifts come the great responsibilities, and those superpowers can be used for the forces of evil or forces of good, because when you notice everything and you're sensitive to everything, you can shine a light on someone from the positive or not so positive. And so there's a responsibility for the people who have this gift to lead the way with and embrace the rest of us as you notice all of the things that maybe we don't want everyone to notice.
I know. And I mean, I was having this conversation with somebody yesterday. Sometimes people are intimidated by people like us. Because, for example, we typically don't do superficial conversations. We go deep very quickly, or we notice things, and that can be intimidating to someone who's not used to that. So we were talking about how to handle that, and how to back off maybe a little bit and just do it more gently. So yes, you're right, absolutely. With that comes great responsibility.
It really does. Yeah, we have to give a little grace and help people have comfort. I love that. I love that you shared that, and what a beautiful legacy you're leaving for people to know you and be impacted by you when you are just a different form of energy surrounding our beautiful space. So I think that's lovely. Thank you. It has been so fun to have you both on the show. Now, Dena, is there anything else about your personal life or your business that you didn't get to share that you'd like the audience to know?
I'm a mom of 3 amazing 20-somethings. My youngest just turned 20, and I'm a sort of empty nester, if you will. But what I think is most powerful, and I'll encourage all the moms out there, if you're listening, to look at your child as a teacher. My 3 children have taught me so much about areas that I needed to improve in my world. And I owe them a debt of gratitude for sure. But look at that child as the child chose me to come into this world through me to teach me something amazing. And can you imagine if more moms were able to look at their child that way?
I always say to them, that they're not mine. I just get the honor of being their mother on the planet here. They belong to everyone, and that's what they're supposed to go out and do with their life. I always say, as long as their life is, there's hope too. So nothing can be so dark that a small candle can't glow some light into. So
yeah, and that will ultimately, when you circle back to me for my last comment, it'll circle back on that note as well.
So how about you, Linda? Anything else about you or your business that we didn't get to share yet?
Well, I think I just want people to know, if I look back at who I used to be and how the most scary thing for me was talking to people, to a group of people.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, I was so chronically lacking in self-confidence or self-esteem. I just wanted to be quiet. I never wanted to be out there at all. I resisted anything like that. And if I can turn myself around like that, and honestly, with the clients I've worked with, anything is possible. What brings me the greatest joy is when somebody comes with a seemingly impossible challenge. It seems like their whole life is falling apart. And then it starts to come together and they start to bring joy into their lives again. And like you said earlier, it's about what you're allowing into your life and just the knowledge that whatever's happening, you can absolutely turn it around. And it takes inner work, definitely takes doing the inner work. But I don't think there's any challenge that can't be helped by mastering your energy. I really think that.
I'm pretty sure nothing is impossible. I think impossible is a symptom, and the core root of that challenge that needs cured is expansion of your imagination. So anything is possible if we do not limit ourselves with our imagination. And when we come together, our brainstorming and our minds, the 3 of us have, 6 or 7 minds in the room as we pull them together, because it isn't just the 3 of our minds once they combined, so it's so very fascinating that truly the word impossible can quickly be cured by the power of imagination and creativity. So, yeah. So you're watching out there and you're thinking, wait, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I have a program, I can improve someone's personal life or grow their business. And I say, that's fabulous. Come on, reach out, let our team know. We'll tell you just how to get featured on the show. And you know what? You could be someone else's hero and mine if you know an industry expert, because if you are one, you probably know one, and probably way more than one. You can introduce us and them to the show, and we would love to feature them as well. Now, before we say goodbye, everybody, I'm not going to let them get away. Dena let the cat out of the bag, but you already know the flow. We are not going to let them get away without a final thought. We want a piece of information or inspiration as we close our show today. So, Dena, you're fired up. I can feel this bubbling of all of your inspiration. Lay it on
I'm
us.
so excited, absolutely so excited to share this last thought. For those of us who feel as though we might be different, for those of us who feel as though we're strange, we may not be connected to our worth or our value, as both Linda and I have talked about. I want you to remember this. You are never alone. Never alone. And the beautiful thing is you have podcasts around you. You have books that you can surround yourself with. There was a time when I was sleeping with 6 books. And I've never, and I'm not kidding, because I was, I've been single for years, and, but you are never alone. And fundamentally, source, divine source and creation always has your back. And it's through the challenges that you may be facing right now that divine source is inviting you to get closer to him or her, God, whatever, higher power, however we want to call it. But I just want you to rest tonight in the knowledge that you are never alone.
You are not alone. That is for real stuff, people. You are not alone, no matter what your faith, as we respect them all, or your beliefs, or your choice not to believe. You are certainly not alone. Linda, how about you? A final thought, a piece of information or inspiration as we close our day.
Well, I want to share a quote that it's something that has helped me a lot, and it's something that I keep nearby. I have it printed out, and I keep it actually on my desk here. And it's helped me so much, because I was and many of the people I work with are chronic people pleasers, just like I used to be. And I now see myself as a people empowerer. So again, that's just shows you how things can change. But this is one that really helped me. And it's from Don Miguel Ruiz from the 4 Agreements. And it is, don't take anything personally. Nothing others do is because of you. What others say and do is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And when you can really embrace that and remember it, there's such freedom that comes from that.
It really is. It really is. And, I usually go right into the close, but I have to say, I was on multiple people, and it was a small, intimate kind of mastermind, and someone said something, and I guess it could have come across unkind. And when that person left, the other person said, "Weren't you so offended?" And I said, "To what?" And then so often also I have had people that I love dearly who are going through challenges and things, and they tell me a story of what someone has done or said, and I said, well, and love this person. What do you believe, based on where they are in their space right now? What are they capable of? We can't expect people to give or behave or say words beyond where they are at the moment. It's as far as they can go. It's as much as they have to give. And we expect more, then we only harm ourselves, not them, And so yes, I love the kind words of both of you. And I have just loved having you both here. I hope you've had as much fun as me.
Oh, I know. Such a pleasure. Energy is great. So yes.
Very complimentary. I mean, I think that, Linda, I think we might have to partner up. There might be some really great things
at least I see at least a workshop or a co-written book or a workbook or an action something, or who knows? The possibilities are limited by
possibilities are endless.
Our imagination is the only limit.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, everyone out there, for watching. We embrace you. We remind you, as the brilliant Dena said, you're not alone. This has been a lovely journey with our guests here, Dena and Linda, today. Share the show, watch the show, and come back and join us, and hey, get featured on the show. But until the next one. I'm Jessica Koch. I'm your host. This is Profound Professionals. And you know the line. I say it every time. Be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye, everybody.
Bye.